Hello, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media world, the world, wherever you're at watching this video here today. Welcome to another video from Musings with MGL. As always, click like, comment, share, subscribe, click the ding ding bell. All that stuff helps out the channel. I really appreciate it. So today I'm just going to do a quick little video about the return of the dreaded lockdowns, okay? Obviously, in a bunch of places across the country, you're seeing the return of the lockdowns, especially as it relates to the holidays coming up. Thanksgiving, obviously, we're going to have the same issue when Christmas comes around. So, thankfully, here in Florida, our governor has so far resisted calls for a second lockdown. He's actually come out and said that there won't be a second lockdown. So, knock on wood, hopefully he sticks to that. He didn't last time. He caved at the last minute and did a lockdown, but hopefully this time he'll stand more firm. So the question always becomes in, what do you do with these lockdown rules? And what happens for Thanksgiving? All these stupid rules that you're seeing, limiting the number of people who can come to your Thanksgiving dinner, telling you who can stand where, telling you what mask they have to wear inside your own home. Can you have it indoors? Can you have it outdoors? In Oregon, they are actually encouraging people to call the cops on their neighbors. If you see a neighbor with too many people over at their house for Thanksgiving, they are actually telling people to call on their neighbors. I don't know if it was the mayor of Portland or the governor of Oregon or out there was equating it to a party. Well, if somebody had a loud party on your street and was being real noisy as a neighbor, you would still call and complain, right? Because, they're having a loud party. So this is the same thing. It's actually not the same thing because the loud party is probably in violation of a specific ordinance, and it also might be disturbing the peace, disturbing your sleep, or whatever. Somebody having Thanksgiving dinner at the house isn't disturbing you in any particular way. So they are not the same. And even if they were, I also think you're a crappy neighbor if you call the cops because somebody down the street is having a loud party either. I've never been a big fan of neighbors who snitch or narc or complain about other neighbors because remember, you all got to live in the same neighborhood, and it's just never a good idea. So here we are again with these lockdowns, and the question becomes, as a lawyer, I get the question all the time, do you have to comply with these? Do you not have to comply with these? Are they constitutional? Are they unconstitutional? Well, as I said, last set of lockdowns several months ago, I personally believe that they are unconstitutional. I do not believe that your local governor, your local city commission, your local mayor, or whoever has the authority to issue a lockdown and basically force your business to close, force you to not leave your home, force mask mandates. Like, I personally think those are unconstitutional. Even as a lawyer, I think they're unconstitutional. But obviously, if they're a law, I would never advise somebody to purposely break the law. But I do believe that they're unconstitutional. And what you got to find out is your Thanksgiving mandates, number of people in your household, etc., are those suggestions or are those actual laws and ordinance and government orders? Because a lot of these aren't actually orders. They're not laws. There was no order or law or ordinance passed by any county commissioner or mayor that I know of that says it's a crime or misdemeanor to have more than 10 people over specifically for Thanksgiving. They may still have these draconian over rules about lockdowns that limit the number of people in your home in general or limit where you can go outside in general, but nobody has passed a specific one for Thanksgiving. A lot of the quote Thanksgiving ones about having more than 10 people over your house are recommendations from officials, medical professionals, whatever, saying you shouldn't have this many people in your home. So if you plan on violating these rules, you need to first find out if it's a suggestion or a proposal, or if it's actually a law, if there's actually a government, like an Emergency Powers Act issued by your governor or a local ordinance issued by your county or your city. And then you got to figure out what the law is. You got to figure out what the penalty is. And then you got to figure out whether it's worth it for you to risk violating the law on that penalty. Again, as a lawyer, I'm never going to advise somebody to break the law, but you are an adult. And if you decide you want to practice, social disobedience or whatever you want to call it, then you can do whatever you want, obviously. And then you can hire a lawyer on the backside if you get charged to fight the constitutionality of it, which I would locally if it ever happened here. So the issue is, look, in my opinion, again, setting aside the lawyer hat now, this is just me as an individual citizen and a commentator. the government is not in control of your Thanksgiving. I do not believe the government can tell you how many people you can have over at your house for Thanksgiving. There's nothing in the Constitution that I'm aware of that gives any government official the authority to do that. So the government's not in control of your Thanksgiving. The government's not in control of your Christmas. The government wasn't in control of your trick-or-treating. So, do what you want, basically. I'm certainly going to do whatever I want. Again, the good news is here in Florida, we're not going to have any of those rules, so we can basically do whatever they want. I always advise people to be smart. Again, it's not two choices. It's not think the whole thing is fake and who cares about your health, or do whatever the government tells you because the government is, God and tells you what to do. That's not how it works. The issue is you should still be smart. If you think that you're an at-risk person and you have the health risk that come along with that and you don't want to go to the Thanksgiving, then don't go to the Thanksgiving. If you're hosting the Thanksgiving and you want to, as a homeowner, say, look, in my house, if you want to come over here, these are going to be my rules because you want to be safe, then be safe. Be smart. If you want to limit your number of people coming over because you think you need to for health reasons, then do it like everybody else says. I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't advise people or people shouldn't do it just because their government overlords tell them to. That's a completely different issue. You can think it's still smart to be safe when it comes to this virus, but you can also think it's unconstitutional and way out of line for the government to tell you who you can have over to your house for Thanksgiving or who you can't have over to your house for Thanksgiving. But those, again, are the choices that we all make. If you want to practice civil disobedience, then practice civil disobedience. If it's just a suggestion in the area, then do whatever you want. If you think that it's smart to limit your Thanksgiving, then limit your Thanksgiving. But from a constitutional standpoint, I don't believe the government has the authority to do that. And from a moral standpoint, I don't think that they should. So do what you want for Thanksgiving, but you should always, again, this is the lawyer hat I'm putting back on now. You should always check to see what the law is in your area, and you should always follow and comply with the law. But everybody's got to make individual choices in their life like they do every day. But these lockdowns are coming back. I'll do a bigger video on them maybe later on down the road. I just want to get this one cranked out before Thanksgiving. But I think we're headed back into what they quote dark winter. And when I say dark winter, I don't mean it in the context of the virus going back up. I mean it in the context of these power-hungry politicians going back up. And that's basically where our dark winter is going to come from as individual rights, libertarian-minded people. Okay, so look into that, figure out what it is that you want to do, and go from there. But be safe. Everybody have a good holiday season. God bless America. Thanksgiving, a very uniquely American holiday. And a lot of people, I think, are going to exercise a very uniquely American habit, which is independence, and they're going to do what they want for Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Everybody else have a good holiday. Be safe. Be careful. Be healthy. Try and stay open. And as always, carry on.